There's our magnificent assistant once again.
Sorry, I forgot
Kowloon.
for a while.
Do you have to restart the talking?
Thank you, mate.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to these pitches coming to you live and direct from King's Sports Ground in Kowloon at the Hong Kong Rugby Union's Grand Championship Finals Day. Here for the grand final itself. The two teams about to do battle in front of a large audience in Hong Kong Society General Valley looking to be the first team to double-double, or do a double back-to-back, which is a league and grand championship win, versus, well, probably the romantic story of the year, Kowloon in their 40th year, appearing in the grand championship final to take on this red and black machine from the valley, the men of the V8. Joining me, my data man himself, Chris Davies, for a few minutes to put all this all into context. CD, what sort of matchup are we looking at today?
Well, last week, Jed, we witnessed a late Jack Neville try the fly off from Kowloon, saw him snatch the victory away from Tigers with a 21-15 victory. And as you rightly said, it's their 40th anniversary, so all to go for, all guns blazing today. I think we're in for a cracking lineup. And Valley are chasing their 5th consecutive GC.
Well, that's an amazing statistic, isn't it? They're chasing 5. That means they've got 4 under the lid already. They doubled it up with the league total last year. They've taken the league already with an impressive win over Hong Kong Scottish when they really flexed their muscle and blew them out 29 points to 3. Hard to believe, especially against a team like Scottish, that you could restrict them to just 3 points.
Yeah, and it's been a tough season for the Valley, and Kowloon are the only team really that really, pushed those boundaries with them, and they posted past them 2 victories, 2013 and 2013 past the Valley over the course of the season. So it's been a tough one. Big battle between these two sides, and I'm expecting the same today.
Well, they've been creating problems for Valley for the last couple of years under the last year of Jack Isaacs before he went away to Barrett's. Of course, he was Kowloon were already starting to cause problems just with their tenacity and their intensity. Now they've added a certain paradigm or dimension to their play. They play this real run and gun, rucking rebel rugby, and they play the ball on the move. They've got an outstanding line out at the moment. They can seem to overcompete almost with much fancier, bigger lineouts.
Yeah, and that's all credit to the coaching staff, in particular James Skaysbrook, who's done an outstanding job with the team in defence as well. They've shown a lot of mongrel in that area, and I expect to see a lot more today.
But to be fair, they are up against the perennial favourites, and they have been to the Grand Championship final many, many times. As we've said, they've put 4 in the cupboard at the moment. They're hunting their 5th. If they take out a win today, they've 2 doubles on the trot, and they would establish themselves in the legacy of red and black as one of the finest outfits to take the field. The Society General Valley's team, Chris, when you look back across the season, they've really actually played the right games in the right way at the right times. They have a wealth of experience. They do have depth. And probably the unwritten story has been Andrew Kelly's ability to manage this resource of players in just his first year as head coach.
Yeah, Andrew's done an outstanding job with that and kept the guys on a level-headed, really. And I think it's just been more so about slotting guys into the right places and getting those combinations. And I think today we're going to finally see those combinations take the field.
Before I let you go, it'd be remiss not to ask. Come on, mate. Which way you want it to fold? Come on, buddy. Come on.
Pardon?
Which way do you want it to go?
I'd like to see it go towards Valley. They've been very strong. They won the Premiership this year, and I just want to see a great game this evening.
I think we will see a great game this evening. 2 contrasting styles, 2 contrasting teams. The power rugby of Valley versus the ruck and run style of Kowloon, who have been outstanding all season. CD, thank you, brother.
Thank you, Jed.
You have
a pleasure.
You've find yourself a good seat and enjoy yourself. Maybe come back and see us at half time. A wee visit from Rob Christie, who continues on his merry way here today. He's a man that made big statements. Chris Davies leads me now. And we open up the chair for today's co-commentator. Now that Ray Asara is warmly ensconced in a luxury hotel in Vietnam, it's nice to be the co-host as we make way for the imminent presence of the man indeed. Probably the voice that most people have been wanting to hear on the broadcast all season. He is, of course, one of the most robust personalities of Hong Kong rugby. It's a man, he comes from a tough environment. He learned playing rugby in a tough environment. By Christ, he even went to Buller of all places. The one, the only, Moses Bailey joins me as co-commentator. Moses, I've got to say on behalf of everybody watching, what an absolute treat this is.
You are far too kind, Jedi, far too kind. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a glorious game, and I think we'll have a bit of fun ourselves, enjoying the spectacle.
Moses, fun is my middle name. Like Funny Kick. It's building up to be a magnificent evening here at Kings Park. The weather's stayed off. It's perfect rugby conditions. Maybe a little bit of a breath there to help Ben Rimini's left foot out. Who can really tell? But we get ready now for what is going to be, I think, a final for the ages. Kowloon in their 40th year versus the powerhouse of Valley. Moses.
Well, Jedi, why don't we start nice and early? Give us a prediction from your side, sir.
Valley by 1.
Valley by 1. Okay. I can deal with that. I'm going to go ahead and throw the cat amongst the pigeons, and I'm going to say Kowloon by 8. How'd you like that prediction, Bud?
It's not bad. It's actually, despite the look of you, it actually makes sense.
It's all as...
How have you come to this earth-shattering conclusion?
Pretty much from 4 years of rage, built up by losing in the final. So surely they can't do 5 in a row. But it's a bit different this year. The only way a cricket club guy could get to the game was to get into the commentary box. So who knows? Let's see what the game holds. But it should be awesome. They are, to be honest, they're the two teams that are both on form. And I think we're going to be in for a cracker.
Well, stylistically, there's a lot to like about Kowloon and the way they operate. I mean, they're potentially underpowered. When you look at the real heavyweights, Scottish Cricket Club, Valley, big packs, powerful packs. The Loon, on the other hand, they've got the ability to range wide and keep it happening.
Absolutely. Their packs worked really well together this year with the backs as well. It's just been, you talk about having size in those other teams, and they've had to look at other aspects, and they've just worked really hard for each other. And I was chatting with a couple of boys before, and some of the new boys from the Chiefs that have come over, just talked about the close-knit unit that Kowloon have become, and he's never played in a side like this. So I think that's been key to them as well. Plus they got, when you get into that winning mentality and you start winning games, you end up doing stuff like you did last weekend and pulling it out of the bag.
Well, a couple of aspects about the Kowloon play that I've found interesting is particularly the line-out set piece, where, we've seen them even against teams like, again, shall I say, a cricket club, a much bigger pack, but they've been able to compete at line-out time, draw it down and drive through teams like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at their hooker, Jamie Leslie Chow Tang. He's been outstanding for them this year as well. He's all over the place. You look at their loose forward trio as well. You can just go through all the players and just it all comes down to that thing. They're all playing for each other, playing hard as well, and going out there and leaving it on the line. And there's no more games after this. It's all happening today.
Well, that's an interesting point you should make. There is no more games after this. This is grand finals football, and anywhere you go in the world, that means one thing and one thing only. It's foot flat to the floor. It's red line all the way. It's 80 minutes of go big or go home. And no one wants to go home a loser tonight.
That's exactly right. I know exactly what it feels like going home 4 times in a row against the same opposition. And here we go.
As we welcome them out, they make their way out onto the pitch. And it is the red and black men of the V8 and Valley. And on the other side, playing on their home ground of Kings Park in their 40th year, the Kowloon Rugby Football Club. Hard to believe that both these teams in the scheme of Hong Kong rugby, young.
Absolutely. If you look at where they've come from, Kowloon, over the last few seasons, they were, when I first got here to Hong Kong, they were right up there, won their first league in a long time. Fell away a bit, came back into it and powered straight back into it today. And we know Valley's been powerful for the last few seasons. I mean, taking out 4 grand championships in a row is no mean feat.
The referee today, for the Tanner DeWitt referee, is Tim Baker. Undoubtedly one of the premier whistle Whistlers in the Asian region. He's returned from a stint in Europe taking care of the Six Nations women's program. Tim Baker leads out the Tanadewit referees for tonight's grand final fixture. Good crowd has built up here across the day. They'll be humming and singing as one of the stars of the Premiership, Jack Neville, gets the restart underway and lobs one down there. And what about that one?
No, nothing wrong with that. That's a great start for Kowloon. It looked wobbly off the boot, but it worked out. One bounce into touch, and Kowloon only 10 metres out.
Jed Thyon with Moses Bailey here at the 2016-17 Hong Kong RugbyPass.com Premiership. This is the grand final. Commentary brought to you by the Doghouse in Wanchai. I imagine it's going to be stacked up later as they're watching the Kolkata Cup, Scotland versus England on Rugby Pass. Deploy. Short ball. They've started out with the big team. As you look at the team making its way across the bottom of the screen on the Caterpillar, you will see that Valley have done, well, basically Ned Kelly's pulled the big stick.
Absolutely. If you look at that, they're not scared to take it up in their own 22. Good phase building and straight back to Ramini, and he finds a solid touch. Kowloon won't be too unhappy with that, though. They about 35 out, attacking line out over here. So let's see what they can do with it.
Combination of Cunningham, Sawyer and Whitfield, as well as the number 8, Tudor Stevens. They've kept themselves really in the action. Front foot ball for Neville. They go wide and in comes Burry. Burry runs strongly and he almost put away the other winger. You can see here already the crowd, one of the standout parts of the Kowloon players and their back players been outstanding for a team with no back coach.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's a concern, isn't it?
Not for them, it's not.
Around the world, they watch this broadcast. Ex-Loon players, ex-Valley players, all around the world from New Zealand, Kaitaia to the Bluff, right up to the UK, through Europe, through parts of the States, all over the world. They'll be tuned in to watch this. Welcome to this broadcast coverage of the 2016 Grand Championship final. Big play, Williams taken down. It's Dane Jans. There's a name you'll hear a lot, and as Williams again breaks and carries powerfully, and this is potentially where Valley could find holes, and they could find them early in Kowloon as they keep the targets nice and square and just punch them up the guts.
Yeah, they looked very threatening around the rucks over there, and Karatai Williams went straight through. He caused a heap of trouble. He was brought down, no advantage going back, and it looks like Ben Ramini will have the first shot at goal today, only about 5 or 6 minutes in.
Well, it was a strong performance last week against Club. They overpowered Club in the end, who went out there and made a fist of things on the V8, but ultimately quality kicking by Rimini put Valley in position more often than not. And then Ellie McClay, Deploy and company were on hand to start trotting in the tries. In fact, it was a massive contrast considering what the Tigers and the Kowloon semi-final was like. It took some overcoming though, the Texas club. Valley were there in the end. Rimini's kick now. First nudge of the evening. And he makes no mistake. Flew a bit like a dead duck, but got there in the end.
The outcome is all that matters, and Valley take a 3-0 lead. Good play there. You know, the danger signs are all over there. The first time that Valley had any real good possession, they trucked it up and managed to win the penalty.
Neville's restart. They go deep down into the pocket one more time, and McClay takes it securely and Leads back up. Williams hangs over the ball like a gargoyle. Deploy. Looks, he goes wide. They play it back to the 15. Plenty of angle there. Deploy, willing his players around. Tim Baker removes himself from the angle. And the left foot of Ben Rimini slices off some ample territory.
Absolutely. Once again, Valley showing not scared to take the ball up through multiple phases. More than enough numbers there. Kowloon using the same strategy they seem to have used throughout the year, just putting one man into the ruck and dumping and fanning, and allowing Ben to clear quite easily to touch almost up to the halfway line.
Well taken off the top at 2. Neville shows flat ball. Now they're on the 10. The advantages come. It's not released as a call from Baker. Short side play, they take it. Stevens goes into contact, looking to play the advantage on. Short play, stab over the top. Should bounce away harmlessly into touch, and we might be looking at 3-all.
Yeah, I'd have a look back at that as a great ball. Crashed up in the midfield, no release from the tackle play there, and it's straight in front. You'd have to think at this level over here, it'll be 3-all after this little treat.
Well, we know that in Wales they'll be watching, as the mother of Bryn Phillips makes a habit of not only listening to me but also watching her son.
Can't blame her at all, especially the listening to you part.
Well,
She's only human.
Can't think of any. What can be more satisfying than an early morning, a warm cup of tea, and some Welsh rarebit with me?
Oh, you're not wrong, sir. Nail right on the head.
Jack Neville lines one up from 40 plus, maybe 50 centimetres, and it's pretty much straight in front of the sticks. Not much to talk about wind-wise over the treetops. As we wait and watch, and Neville's kicks high, wide and handsome off the foot and just faded and went under the crossbar. So maybe there's a little bit more wind up there than we anticipated. Jack Neville does certainly have the range at 40 metres, there's no doubt about that. Short play and go by Dane Jans. Not known for his silky footwork, but he's managed to make that work. And
Big
Rossley knocks it down, and Stevens now, and who's going to be there to take him? There's a number of players there willing to go.
Led by Lee Jones at first. Another advantage coming Kowloon side. And they'll have an opportunity here to bang the ball into touch and put a bit more pressure on Valley.
Just talk a minute about this Phil Whitfield character as a loose forward. It seems to be pretty nuggety, pretty resilient.
Oh, no, he's a tough bugger. He's a tough bugger. If you look at last week, he's the man that forced the turnover in the last few minutes under his own sticks. Took a quick tap, powered forward, gave an offload, and we all know how that finished. Jack Neville went all the way to break the Tigers' hearts. And the boys always say that they like going into battle with this man. You know you're going to get the full 100% from him every time.
It's stolen it down the back by the red and black. Telling. Max Woodward under contact. Plenty of numbers around him. Now they drive and they try and clear. All out quickly deployed. Rimini goes wide. It's picked up on the fingertips by Muller. Muller releases. Now they do a centering kick. Strange old tactic in from the 70s, and it's picked up by Burry. He tries to go for the outside line. If he can find it, he can't. Pulled down on the 15, midway 22 and 10. The Loon now. Whitfield. And they run it out wide. Phillips. No. There's Bryn Phillips there. Short side play, they take it. Neville. Spot tackled. That was pretty heavy duty stuff. They bring it back, and maybe a small glimpse from Whitfield there as he had a wee look up to see what was coming down the chute at him. And I guess at the end of the day, you're only human.
That's it. Just after we talked him up, he goes and puts it down. But that's rugby. Keep himself in those positions. The ball will go to Valley now in attacking scrum in Kowloon's half. got a good flow to the game at the moment. Both sides putting a bit of pressure on each other, and it'll be interesting to see now at scrum time who can get the ascendancy, because Valley have been extremely strong this year. See what Kowloon can do.
Oh, he's sitting deep in the tight head prop from Kowloon. He's trying to find his angles pretty early, pretty quick. James Holmes on the close side to us against Ben Higgins, who I might add has put on a respective amount of weight in the last 12 months.
He has worked extremely hard with the union.
Especially around the forearms.
Yeah, respective weight. No, he's worked really hard, and he's a good boy, Ben Higgins. He does what he gets in to do and puts his head down, works, and just with that, penalty to Kowloon.
I asked him what his circuit was. He said no running, and I can believe that. Neville gets a chance to place Kowloon deep into Valley territory, and
Laboulaye's done really well to keep that in. Fluker will clear.
it's remarkable. Stevens takes the reply. Now they run out from the bury, puts it on the toe, and
useful
tries to
little
run
kick.
it down, and he does indeed. Put the pressure back on Valley. They're keeping them pinned down there, which is exactly where you want Valley to be. If you're going to make them score, they've got to go coast to coast.
Absolutely. No, great play over there. Unfortunately, Jack Neville missing touch. Great play by Laboulaye to keep it back in. Great counter back in, and the line out to Valley.
Taken smartly by Hewson. Lifted high, and Valley get them all here nicely sorted out. They keep it long on their feet, and they just drive it up the guts. And pretty to watch at the moment. He's up and under, yields the penalty.
No advantage there, and ref saying coming in from the pulling it down.
They've showing a lot of confidence in their own 22, Moses.
Not afraid at all, not afraid at all. Whether it's a line out or short balls, they're taking it up, building the phases. I think they've worked out that Kowloon aren't going to throw too many in. So if they can just keep the ball, hopefully they can try and tire them out.
Rimini sends him back down just inside the halfway break. There's the Valley hooker, Dane Jans, who addresses the line out. Bit of jiggery pokery before it's pulled down by Muller. He pulled down nicely as well. He's done well. Deploy. Ali McClay's offside. Now they bring him on. The deep kick is marked off well by Burry. So nothing really happening for Valley in that one. And Burry's kick and rolls in conveniently for Ben Rimini, who takes his time around it and finds it and returns it and sends it back down with possibly a little bit of interest.
Yeah, solid clearance there, Jedi. Straight up to the halfway line, and that's the thing that he's proved the entire season. The man is super reliable. Anytime you're in a bit of pressure, he goes back, and very seldom does a man make an error. So line out right in front of us over here. Kowloon's ball, 3-0, the Valley.
The rugbypass.com Hong Kong Premiership Grand Championship final. Pitches live and direct from Kings Park here in Kowloon. Live on rugbypass.com and through the Hong Kong Rugby Union's YouTube channel. Nicely off the top by Kowloon. Neville, midfield set. Madgwick goes wide. They sniff and they hunt, and the Valley pack is over there to defend, and Phillips finds his hooker. Phillips again. Smart ball off the ground. Gee, it's snappy, isn't it? Comes back, and Kowloon there managed to uncover it well. Jack Neville with the tackle line speed from Valley just snuffs out the options, and now they've got to look to put it on the foot and Send it down with someone that's plucked out of the air by.
Very calmly done there by
Fluker.
Fluker. Launches it back upfield all the way to the 22. Styles has a look, puts on the left. And that could
That
go
might
a
even
little
run.
bit too
That
far.
might even run. No, it won't run at all. I'll take it back to the 22. It's 3-0 here in the Grand Championship final. This commentary brought to you by the Doghouse, the natural place to start your Sevens week in April.
And to finish it, maybe.
Well, many have started and finished in the same night. Believe me when I tell you.
The same
not a
night, the
sprint,
same year.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Sure is. A lot of people think the Sevens just runs over the weekend. It's a full week event right there with the 10s.
More than 14 minutes long, let me tell you that. Ball comes down and
Fluker gets through
managed
the
to
tackle.
bounce out of 1 and 2, and eventually they turn up, they help him out. It's going to be a good feeling as a fullback, seeing some forwards over the top of you. Rosalie onto his right foot, and when you look at that combination, left foot, right foot combination for Valley, they got the ability to put you back 50 metres as Turoa Stevens charges it forward.
Unlucky.
Neville leaves it behind, advantage for Valley, and they'll take it through deploy, and he lays it back. Smart hands by Jans, and they'll probably come back for the first. It's an advantage though, being played for Kowloon, so they've turned it over. And that was unfortunate, a very short advantage by Tim Baker.
Yeah, very short there as well, but they looked pretty dangerous when they had the ball. Unfortunate to turn it back over there. It was a bit of a loose pass. Kowloon won't be complaining. They will take the scrum in Valley's half and be looking to try and convert a bit of the pressure they've been exerting at the moment. It's been an interesting game so far, Jedi. Both teams, I'd say, have had good opportunities to punch it up, and it's only been 3 or 4 phases though before it breaks down and then they clear it. So both going through that feeling out process at the moment. Scrum's been solid for both, which is very good for Kowloon. And like you said, they're the smaller pack coming up against many bigger packs throughout the season, yet they've managed to hold their own, and they continue to do it today.
Comments from Moses Bailey as we look at this set piece, and Stevens under the attention of Karatai Williams.
He's pinned him there for being offside. Actually not, for pulling down on the opposite side of the scrum. Must have been a call from the touchy.
Well, someone's been telling tales, and Jack Neville's comes in, and I'm not sure what's worse, being caught or being told on.
I think it's a combination of
Well,
both,
that's been
really.
The first rule, Moses, is you never get caught. Don't get caught. That's the first rule.
Just don't get caught. Even if you get told on, just deny. Let's have a look.
Kowloon in a handy position now. Only about 20 away from.
Leslie Tang's
Well,
throw is
they go
glorious. Yeah, they
They
go.
set up the head. The head drives on. Kowloon have done well dismantling that. Valley, haven't they? And now they fan out and look for the holes in their defence. Kowloon get out to the 15. They find Stevens. Phillips is in there. Snappy distributor of the ball. Now he in turn finds Cunningham, and Cunningham tries to muscle his way in there. Uses his body well, and Phillips a little bit of a stutter step, and he can't find his way through. Valley now, they managed to take a few more yards, and here's the Valley team. This quick defensive line, a good shape works up, and they're brought down. But Kowloon still attacking and looking good as they do it. Kowloon building up momentum. Short side play they go. Was that the correct option? Now they take 4 and stuff it deep into the pocket. More hits coming up from Valley. Can they hold Kowloon out right on the gain line is where they want to situate themselves. Pick and go comes through. Phillips looking for runners, finds Neville. Neville goes second man play. That's the fullback coming in. Penalty to Kowloon.
Looks like it'll be right under the sticks, Jedi. And that was very dangerous play there from the Kowloon. They, like you said on the left, they could have gone right maybe a bit earlier. But it was good continuity. They went through 6 or 7 phases, pulled it right up. And unfortunately, were unable to convert into a try. However, they do have a penalty 5 meters out on the 15. Be interesting to see what they do over here.
Whitfield signals the sticks and the kicking tee goes on. So the chess game continues. 3-0 at the score with a possibility of drawing it up even now as we close out the first quarter of the match. It's the rugbypass.com Hong Kong Premiership Grand Championship Final, live and direct from Kings Park in Kowloon. Jed Thyon joined by Moses Bailey. The commentary brought to you by the Doghouse as we watch now one of the, well, he's a top point scorer in the Premiership and he's been absolutely on fire all season, Jack Neville.
Oh, absolutely. And you talk about him being the top point scorer. I think I didn't even tell the full picture. The man's defense has been absolutely phenomenal this year. The man's not scared to put his body on the line. That has come off the post, and that will be a fortunate let-off for Valley. Yeah, finals rugby can do funny things to you, Jedi.
Well, we can blame it on finals rugby, or it could be the commentator's curse. One of the two.
Or both.
Well, he does. I mean, there hasn't been too many games of rugby I've seen where Jack Neville doesn't come off bleeding from some part of his head.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, he's been outstanding this year for Kowloon. A big reason why they've been so good. Short ball to Stevens. Stevens going to take this up. Bumps in. Good defense again. Max Woodward's right there on the ball. And
Phillips.
he has got the turnover. Outstanding from the sevens man. Holding on. And the crowd lets him know.
Interesting advice coming from a very lean Valley bench. There's Valley through Rimini now.
Big turnaround from 2 minutes ago when there was a penalty going for posts, and all of a sudden Kowloon find themselves deep in their own half.
Well, this crowd at Kings Park has been slowly building all day. You can see the faces here. And we know that there's a very, very, very strong crowd building online. If you're joining us today, welcome to these pitches from Kings Park in Kowloon. We know many of you watching have probably played here before, possibly in this scenario. It's deploy, pass goes nowhere. Picked up by Snow Lee.
Number 8, you're having a great game. Keep it up, bad boy.
And within 2 minutes of a penalty coming off the post, it looks like Valley will be able to extend their lead to 6 if Ben Ramini, from his strong side as left footer, is able to knock this one over. But the game of rugby, she's a fickle one, I'm afraid. Miss your chances and it turns around very quickly.
We've seen it be. No, I've got some brandy. I need some Coke.
And some ice, please. So Ramini steps up.
Apologies for the short order, ladies and gentlemen. If you've heard that, this is Hong Kong rugby. Here's Rimini now. His opportunity from out wide. Not scared about taking the full minute. Rimini's approach. Not bad off the foot. They like it already, the crowd, and why not?
Indeed, the
There's Ben
crowd.
Rimini, the first Maori Pakistani to represent Hong Kong.
Valley 6, Kowloon 0.
Yeah, the crowd.
6-0 to Valley, and well, if they're just going to come down and snipe you like that, it's going to hurt all day, isn't it?
Absolutely. The crowd told us straight away that was over. Ben Ramini, dead-eye Dick. 6-0 to the Valley. 25 almost gone. Ali McClay with a very strong carry there.
Well, he's made a great impression since he's come back into the fold as Ellie McClay. Now the older statesman of this Valley setup, Karatai Williams.
Once again, Valley not scared to use the phases, build it up, even one-off runners, and they're getting the blockers in there quick thereafter. And you'll probably find it go back to Ramini now, and he will look for field position.
Down to Stevens, and Stevens picks it up, finds Neville. Neville takes a look at the options, sees space down in the back pocket for Valley, but it's not really there. Picked off, Rimini through the left foot again, and he manages to get the bounce and make it generally untidy. Phillips on the right foot, the reply, good and strong. The arm goes up.
Fluke just slowing things down with a 6-point lead, let his forwards get back, takes the mark, and will look for a clearing touch up towards halfway, somewhere around there.
Well, if I'm not incorrect, I think Doug Fluke was playing for Guy Wu at some point, wasn't he?
The whole of the last couple of seasons, actually, and from thereafter, he's come on to Valley, and he has played an exceptional season this year.
Stevens carries the ball back, touch not taken. Still an effective kick nonetheless. As Valley now size up the defence, and Whitfield brings it forward. On top of that, Williams decides to put the shoulder on it, but Phillips manages it to move it. Stevens again.
They didn't have any coats. I asked something with an umbrella in it. All I had with that one, mate. Matches your shirt.
Thanks, Wood.
Send a boy to do a man's job. That was the call. And there he goes. Neville straight into the action, and Cunningham picks up and goes. James Cunningham has been one of the fulcrums of the Kowloon effort all season long. He throws his body into everything. He doesn't mind smashing himself. And all of a sudden,
Could be.
Tim Baker looks like he's going to the pocket, and he
Could be a bit of cheese, yeah.
This could be the first slice of cheese for the day. And who's he showing it to? He's
Karatai
giving
Williams
it to Williams.
for offsides. Well,
So, referee Baker saying that the persistent offside by Karatai Williams has earned him 10 minutes in the naughty chair. And, well, that's just a loose forward's lot, isn't it, Moses? That's just what happens to loose forwards.
maybe it's just because I'm a loose forward. I thought pretty harsh call on the man. I haven't seen many penalties for offsides yet, and he'll be spending 10 minutes in the bin nonetheless. Can't change the ref's mind. Don't remember me ever changing his mind anyway.
It hasn't happened in over 100 years of rugby union, and it continues to defy the odds.
Great chance here for Kowloon. 14 on 15 on the 22 with ball in hand, and they are driving strong.
So, Valley tested early, 6-0 up, one man down. And the way that they bury into the contact and the way that Kowloon like to play high tempo, this could be all the differences. Whitfield unloads, the ball comes loose.
Great chop
Lee
tackle
Jones
there.
picks it up and he takes it forward, lays it back and deploy. Finds Rimini. Rimini hits the ripcord and sends it downtown. What a kick by Benjamin Rimini.
Well, the Coke has arrived.
And Rimini's kick down. It's picked out of the air by Phillips, and that's actually Phillips there, and he gets it on the right foot. So it's some ping pong, as you'd expect. McClay stabs it at the line, and
Yeah, it was a great kick there by
something
Brent
reminiscent of his chat up banter. That's about as
absolutely.
good as it gets.
No, that was a great kick. Took them deep into the corner over there. Gave Ali McClay very minimal room to work with there, and he just bunts into touch just on the 22 and allows Kowloon another chance to attack with this 15 on 14.
So, Kowloon. Through Zhang. And they bring it down through via Sawyer. He's turned well when they go to the ground. So they've taken some good time out of the situation there. The stinks come out of the tail for Kowloon. Static ball, they've got to start on the front foot or the back foot again. More big play, but Dane Jans gets in there, and Dane Jans just turned that over. And Deploy gets it on the right foot and sends it away down the track. Berry takes it beautifully over his shoulder. And the return kick, and the tactic's pretty clear. The tactic is we're going to keep Valley a long way away from our line. And that's fair enough too. Rimini comes back, and I would expect that Jim Skaysbrook has put down a reasonably simple plan for how to approach Valley. He would have made things very simple indeed.
Absolutely. I think that Kowloon will be exceptionally disappointed with those two set plays they've played over there in the last 5 minutes. Twice they've been on attack against 14 and have turned the ball over in key situations. Yeah, when you come down to the final over here, you've got to take your chances, and they're fortunate to still be only 6 points down. Playing on 14, they're going to have to up their game over here if they're going to see it. And that's this good play over here. Great ball.
What a tackle. Two big
Great
tackles.
tackle.
As they,
Oh, that could be turned. That could be
stiffen up on
turned
defence,
there
and
once
they have
again.
turned it, deploy.
Oh,
He's ushered into touch by Cunningham, but we saw the attacking attitude of this Kowloon side. The Valley up to snuffing out the attack as well. It is quite a bit of those contacts, isn't there?
absolutely. Great turnover there once again. That's 3 turnovers in the last couple of minutes, and they are hurting Kowloon at the moment. Valley putting in a lot of players at the breakdown, trying to get that ball back, slow it down at least, especially with only 14 men in the field. And they will take all the time in the world to get this scrum set.
Very good situational awareness by Society General Valley as they head into the final 10 minutes of the first half. Jed Thorne along with Moses Bailey bringing you the commentary brought to you by the Doghouse. The Grand Championship final here for the rugbypass.com Hong Kong Premiership. As we watch now, there's the lock-up. Down they go, Valley packing down with only 7. They seem to be able to hold this Kowloon pack. At some point, you can expect this game to break open, and when it does, it'll be interesting to see which way it goes. Two very, very strong backlines. One probably with a lot more elusiveness than the other, and one with a lot more power upstrain than the other. There's the touch-up, and they drop.
Ramini's moved into scrum off at the moment.
Deploy, confirming himself as half forward, not half back.
Great clean out there by Lee Jones.
Rimini finds stab kick on the right foot and finds a bit of space and runs it down.
Oh,
Kowloon
great
now.
kick there by Matt Rossley. And that is a great win there for Valley with only 14 men. Managed to secure that solid scrum, work a few phases and get Matt Rossley to kick it deep into the left corner. And now they've got an attacking line out 35 metres out. Valley doing all the right things at the moment.
Time and time again, they've been to the Grand Championship final. It's a club that prides itself on performances of days like this. They say that defence wins tournaments, but attack wins finals.
I thought we weren't going to talk
What
about
a shot put on by Matt
great
Rossley.
hit.
What a shot. That one is in the highlight reels for sure. And Matt Rosley's
Phil
been knocked
Whitfield.
over in his time, but I don't think like that too
No,
often.
that was a great hit over there. On the ball, Kowloon all over it.
Now they
Still
break.
back. Higgins.
That looks good. Ball in hand, of course. Valley's still got the likes of Grant Kemp to bring off the bench, and now Lee Jones tries to ghost outside his marker, but cannot.
Textbook tackle, got him around the bootlaces.
Rosley into the action again. It's like having another loose forward on the field with Matt Rosley. Now Rimini finds Muller, midfield set up. We've taken Whitfield out of the action for the next phase.
Many referees on the sideline
As you'd
here.
expect in Hong Kong. Everyone's a legal professional. Even the chartered accountants. They move it now, and now they go wide. Rimini finds Rosley. Rosley onto Jones. Jones steps in, tries to beat one on the outside.
Just
And
great
bring it down.
continuity again.
They're still playing with a lot of fluidity in the Valley pack. Even with 14, they seem to find that extra man as Muller settles in it again, and now McClay goes wide.
Great tackle.
McClay collects the ball again. Well, he's passed it to himself, incredibly. It's a bit like a mirror, and Ellie McClay's not scared of that.
No, he's definitely not. And going back to that once again, look at Valley going through the phases, able to get men to the breakdown. 7 or 8 phases, building up, going up to 15 or 16. Great play. Great tackle there by Jack Neville, knocking the ball loose, but McClay able to regather and forcing a scrum Valley ball.
So the team mechanics come flooding on for Valley, and there's a few coming on for Kowloon as well. The players just take a minute or two to exchange some of that CO2 and lactic acid for, well, some oxygen.
That was a long phase of play, and the Oaks are getting rather tired. Nothing wrong with the tasty little water break now. They all look like they're enjoying it. Good final so far, Jeddah.
This is a final. They said this one could be one for the ages, and it certainly could be. This Kowloon team in their 40th year playing in this Grand Championship final. Wasn't too long ago the likes of Joe Shaw who were leading the cutter when they had a great deal of success. And
it would seem like quite a long time ago if you saw his hairstyle then to now.
Well, he would feel it's quite a long time ago. Things have changed for Shawsy. There's no doubt about that. But the rhythm fingers...
He's doing really well.
maintains.
Good lad, good lad.
Gone on to do a great job in that Saracen setup, and of course he earned and won a lot of friends and followers in Hong Kong.
Yeah, top man.
I was not one of them really, to be honest.
Fair enough.
He was following me. It's a bit of a pain, to be fair.
We talked about this, Jedi. He's only human, eh? So,
Deploy back
34
to his feet.
minutes.
What a find for Valley. This guy, Deploy, has been. He's an abrasive, oversized halfback, and
Straight out of the Republic with a semi-Kiwi stroke Afrikaans accent.
he's got it all, hasn't he? There's
Absolutely.
no
No,
doubt about
he's entertainment personified. Playing some good rugby at the moment, though. He's a tough character.
But he's equally paired off with this young character, Bryn Phillips, who has got a zappy pass, but mate, he's a competitor. That's Phillips. He will stay in the chase all day and all night if he has to.
Yeah, a big reason why Kowloon have been so good, and the combination between 9 and 10 has been superb this year.
Phillips
Labole,
deploy now, finds a runner coming through.
great
Jones taken
defense,
beautifully.
great hit.
Burry trying to create some pressure but can't deploy. First on the scene. That's ugly. Ball gets nailed down the track by the man they call the Hammer. James Cunningham. Ben Rimini does exactly what you'd expect any first 5'8" to do, which is to get away from the big guy as quickly as possible.
If it had been football, he would have been taking a knee.
Further down the track though, and back play. And looks like, well, it looks like an injury. It is an injury, in fact, and
Can't quite see who it is.
There's a, looks like an injury to Deploy, is it? As we have a look. Was it Jones that's gone down in the background there, and he's immediately, they've gone to him for some attention because he has not moved since he hit the ground.
Felt quite awkwardly there. There's a
And there seems
thunderous
to be
hit.
a lot of focus around some hand movement there, so that's a good sign. He's flat on his back, and there's going to be a significant break in play here while the medical team get this one sorted out. And they're actually quite a wonder to behold, this medical outfit, when they get cracking. They deal with injuries on these sort of tracks all the time. They deal with them well.
Yeah, it seems like quite a significant injury. Unfortunately, they're all over there. They've already got Reece Harmon warming up, and he's about to go onto the field. So, unfortunately, it doesn't look great. But hopefully, he'll be able to get back to his feet. And
Well, he's upright, Lee Jones, which will make everyone breathe a sigh of relief. He's a hard player. He's a tough customer. Is Lee Jones. One would think he might have just
think he got a bit of
taken
a
a
knock.
fairly good sized crack to the head. It would take a decent one to put him down.
Yeah, a big swing tackle there, the way he was swung around and he landed hard on his shoulder, neck area. That whiplash, I think, has caused him a bit of concussion over there. So unfortunately, he won't be back onto the field. Looks like Reese Harmon is coming on and he will play the rest of the game.
So, how does that change the dynamic of the Valley backline, Moses?
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Still using the width over here. They've got some good players. I mean, what they're likely to do is Max Woodward is a centre stroke winger. And they might just put him back in. Yeah, this is great play. Oh, great covering by Fluker. And the pressure's right back on Kowloon right here.
Tremendous play by Fluker. And you're right, Moses Bailey. As Max Woodward slips his way into centre, and Reese Harmon, I would expect, will fill out the place on the wing. He's a dangerous player himself, with plenty of Premiership experience, especially grand finals time as well. Neville, ball in hand.
Great hands.
Great ball. What a fantastic ball from Neville. And now Kowloon on the front foot. Neville, Madgwick to ground. They clean him out quickly. Phillips looking for the run-up. Neville standing wide, standing flat. He attacks the line. Now they go all out. Kowloon, Neville, Cunningham into contact. Ball is there for Phillips if he wants it. He picks and goes. Can't find his way through Hewson. Hewson drives him back.
Oh, that could be the turn.
Ball is there, although it's static. Here they go.
Tang crashes up.
Phillips finds Stevens. Stevens trundles it forward. Still they take yards out of this Valley setup within 2 minutes of the half, and it's Kowloon attacking for all they're worth at 6-0 down. They want to take the break if they can. A score before half-time will be critical. Valley's defence now at the prime. Hewson covers off the ball. It's slow and static again. Kowloon, they don't mind knocking it away. And a penalty to Kowloon.
Great phase play there by Kowloon. They worked at least 15 or 16 phases, building it up from deep in their half. Worked it all the way to that man, Neville, again with a great offload. The big lock forward, trundled forward and was able to get the ball out. And penalty right under the sticks. And this is a great opportunity for Kowloon to narrow the gap. I don't think anyone in the stadium feels that Jackie Neville will miss this one.
Super play by Kowloon to string those phases together, and you know, bizarrely they go straight through the middle to find the yards. The team that you'd expect, if there's any team that can run around Valley, it's going to be these guys. But no, they figure out that A-Channel's the one to take and they flood it. Unbelievable scenes. Neville directly in front. He's skipping around like a spring lamb because he knows, in all reality, this one, he could blow it over if he wants to. Neville lines it up. What could be the last play of the first half. Jack Neville converts the penalty. And we take it to the break in the rugbypass.com Hong Kong Premiership Grand Championship final. At Society Generale, Valley 6, Kowloon Rugby Football Club 3. Moses Bailey, thoughts and comments on this first 40 minutes?
Oh, good game, I'd say, Jed. Both sides have had the opportunities. Yeah, it's hard to pick a side at the moment. You know, I'd probably swing towards Valley's side as well. They've looked in control of when they've had the ball completely. Like, they haven't looked to turnovers and anything like that. They've managed to turn over Kowloon quite a few times. But then again, Kowloon's really dogged in their defense. They get back and they get back when they get turned over. They keep coming. So I think we're in for a treat of a second half right now. And, you know, it could go any way, they say.
As you wanted around the world, as you watch these pitches live from Kowloon, you wanted a grand final that suits the territory. You're getting the one you want. As we come back after the break for the second half action, it's Valley 6, Kowloon 3.
clear the field. Important to remember, folks, even during half-time, that we keep the field clear. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid during this half-time break to take advantage of all the food and beverage options we have at Kings Park here tonight. Of course, the two regular Kings Park kiosks are open, selling all kinds of food and drinks. And we have our Pizza Express tent, our Coyotes tent, and our barbecue breakfast tent. Well, waiting for action to restart here, I'd like to give a quick thanks to rugbypass.com for their continued support of the men's Premiership and the men's Premiership game of the week. And to KPMG for their support and involvement in the women's domestic league this season, and Tanner Dinwick for their continued support of the Hong Kong Referee Society. I'd also like to give shout-outs to all the sponsors and partners of the HKRU. Accenture, Active Brands Asia, Asian Flair, Carlsberg, HSBC, Kukri, Rhino, Sacred Hill, and Wattbike. As I say, it's vital to keep the pitch clear, even if you are passing a rugby ball. You must stay inside the barriers.
As we return, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back here to Kings Park in Kowloon. Jed Thine along with Moses Bailey. As we look at this scoreline, 6 points to 3. 40 more minutes left in the season, Moses. What do you say if you're the Kowloon coach?
I wish I had 40 minutes left in our season still. Unfortunately, that ended 2 games ago. You're the Kowloon coach, I'd be saying to the boys that I reckon they're going to look for a bit more territory as well. They're going to bang it down into the deep into the valley off and just put as much pressure on them defensively as possible. Try and get those turnovers because it's been all valley in that department leading up to this.
Ned Kelly's thoughts going in, what would you think they were?
I would say that he'd be quite pleased with the amount of turnovers they are able to achieve at the breakdown at the moment. I'd say to him that he'd be saying similar. Let's try and play deep in Kowloon's off and let's put pressure on their breakdown.
The voice of reason, Moses Bailey, joins me in the co-commentary position as you watch these pitches live and direct from Kings Park in Kowloon, Hong Kong. The 2016-17 RugbyPass.com Hong Kong Premiership Grand Championship Final. And it is the red and black machine, the men of the V8, Valley, against Kowloon in their 40th season, the Loon. 3 points adrift, 40 minutes away from what some would consider an upset victory, but when you've watched them play this season, it's anything but.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Jedi. To look at it this way, if you put it this way, they've played, this is the 4th time they're playing against each other, and Kowloon are up 2-1 at the moment. So, you know, they're not here just by pure fluke or anything like that. They've worked really hard to get here. And they're only 40 minutes away from achieving something quite special, I suppose, from both sides. 5 in a row for Valley and the first time for Kowloon in a very long time.
Tattletale referee Tim Baker, Hong Kong's #1 whistler, whistles time on. And Ben Rimini restarts the match for Valley as he sends it down and deep into the pocket. It's collected, but touch is not found. Thomas Lamboulay, the magic man. He can make a lot of things happen when you don't expect anything to happen.
That's the French, isn't it?
It is the French. And Thomas Lamboulay is certainly French. There's no doubt about that. The ball bounces conveniently for Matt Rosley, and Rosley gets it high, wide and handsome off the right foot and brought down to Burry, and Burry looks on the inside to find Phillips. Jack Neville, Jack the lad for the line. He takes on Leon Way and he can't make it through. Alex Ung, sorry, and he can't make it through, and now they break out, and Rimini decides he'll swing it to see how they feel about it, and Max Woodward strides into contact and takes 1 or 2 down with him, and it's slow, but Rimini now looking for some options. Valley are there in the numbers. Deploy, steps in. He snaps it out. Rimini, second man play. They're looking wide for Ryan Meacham as Fluker takes it into the action, and he's taken down. He commits 1 or 2 there. Same way play, they bring it back. Big play from Valley. Ball in hand, they look confident. There doesn't seem to be any kick coming when you'd expect a kick over the middle 20-metre zone. Dane Jans powers it in. Pick and go by Matt Rosley. He takes it down and lays it back. Deploy. Now they go far side. Into Higgins. Higgins takes it to contact and gets it to ground with that extra bulk that he's been working on. Far side play. In the far channel. Where's the blitz defence coming from? Slow to move up, and Valley through Higgins. Taken into contact. Deploy. Looking for the option.
Looks like a turnover there, Jedi. Looks like a turnover.
If there's a dispute for the ball, there's no doubt
Looks
about
like
it.
Edman Tang's done
Phillips has
it.
got
Great ball.
Box kick from Phillips. Sets Kowloon onto the front foot. Fluke. Well, he's pretty casual about life, isn't he, Doug Fluker? There's no
Sure
doubt
he is.
about
Did
it.
really well to secure that, and they've got it in their 22.
He's like the guy from The Matrix. He just sees it and he just takes his time about it. All the time in the world. A De Villiers type time in the world, you could say.
Once again, Valley not scared to pull the phases out of their 22, and Kowloon's turned it over again.
And they have turned it. Phillips, they look wide, and in comes Madgwick, and they get over the top of him. Stevens He strides it up. They're on the 22. They're a metre on the inside. 6-3, only 3 points to play with. You know it is. Into contact they go. Phillips goes wide. Finds Neville. Neville through
Warner.
Kinlock. Into Cunningham. Phillips looking for an angle, looking for a player, looking for a runner, finds Whitfield. To the ground he goes. Massive tackle from Alex Ong.
Great play there from Alex Pandelicious. Great hit.
Second man play, and Madgwick gets taken out in the crunch tackle. Valley reeling back, they're 5 out from their own line. Valley now fighting. Kowloon coming on them hot and heavy.
Oh, that's a great turnover.
What
It looks
a
like.
turnover under pressure.
Oh, they've turned it back.
They've wrestled it back though. Incredible
Unreal.
scenes. Stevens gets it and takes 2 strides, and now they're only 2 metres short. The Valley defence is called upon massively. It's a tangle of bodies. Referee Tim Baker.
Wow, what a
swings
passage
them
of
back to
play.
5 minutes. It's hard to make rhyme or reason of it. Moses Bailey, yours.
Oh, unreal there, Jedi. You called it all the way. It was turnover after turnover right towards the end. A great turnover by Nick Hewson, but he just didn't have any support with him there. And Kowloon were able to turn it right back. And just as we talk, we look at the South African boykie warming up on the side over here, Mr. Grant Kemp.
Wow.
It looks like he's about to slide onto the field.
Heavens to purgatory, ladies and gentlemen. There's one sight that you pretty much don't want to see other than Colin coming onto the field as the man who's about to input himself, number 17, drifts into the camera, as you can see. Good stand played by Alex Ong, but here comes Grant Kemp into the front row for Valley, and I guess, Moses, this is what Valley can do.
Oh, well, that's it. I spoke to the Kempy a few days ago, and he was telling me that to fire himself up for this game, he watched his 2 favourite movies, Miss Congeniality 1 and 2 in a row. Back to back, double header like that.
Told me
And
he's still confused about the storyline.
yeah, well, he said that the confusion helps him to release his rage on the field. So let's see what he does in this first scrum.
Well, our thoughts and prayers go with the front row from Kowloon, because Koloa Matangi can still make an appearance in this game, and that in itself is a frightening thought as well. For the scrum, powerful from Valley, but Stevens, what power off the back Stevens shows, and he might have put Kowloon on the front foot. They start skirting out, and Ben Rimini calls for more defence on the open side, and here they come, Kowloon. Whitfield into the action, pick and go now. They decide to keep it in the A channel.
Oh, this is exciting stuff.
Kowloon take it by inches. There's the look at them play towards the posts.
Phase number 9 over here. Let's see what they can do.
Kemp, they're lined in. They go for the post.
You'd have to think they'd be trying to get it up against that post.
They can't. It's great flooding defence. Valley strike back. It's reminiscent of what it must have been like in World War I.
Unbelievable.
And Valley play an outstanding hand.
Oh, they soaked up that pressure unbelievably, and just to add a bit of
True.
salt to the wound.
Tony Wong
Has
come out with an
magnificent
absolute
turnover.
beauty.
And like
What
we
about
said,
that one?
well, Jedi, as we said, they rubbed a bit of salt in the wound there, a bit of back chat, and cost themselves 10 metres. And that man Romania again has taken them right up to the half. And once again, an opportunity wasted for Kowloon.
Well, they'll be ruining that. Tony Wong came out of that situation pointing to the bench, claiming it, and well he might too, because that was an absolute ripper.
Yeah, man was fired up.
Fantastic to see. Jan's now ball in hand. Valley with a bit of jiggery pokery, and it's taken and tapped and a wee bit loose. Comes back though. Hammond, it looks like, playing at 23.
Yep, he's moved into the halfback situation, and also looks like Meacham's on there as well. He's come on earlier for the unfortunate injury.
strong runners, that Higgins, with the headgear on at the moment, the headband. It's hard to tell. Hewson probably not the fastest man off the back of the ruck that we've seen today.
Once again, Valley able to absorb all that pressure, Jedi, and then work their way up the field and milk a scrum 45 metres out from their opponent's half. This is why they win finals, unfortunately. They're able to soak up all that pressure and then turn it right around in seconds.
We saw them play against the Hong Kong Scottish to secure the league title, and it was hard to believe against a side like Hong Kong Scottish they could restrict them to 3 points over 80 minutes. All Hong Kong Scottish could muster was a lonesome 3-point score for a team that's good for at least 3 tries a game.
Oh, you've hit the nail right in the head again. How often do these guys, you know, be put under pressure when other sides would fold and allow a try? These guys don't. Turn it around, and then they're able to turn the pressure right back on.
Hammond feeds the scrum, and it's nice and solid from the red and black, and they inch them back and they fold them back, and it's Grant Kemp and company have really decided to put the heater on them, and now they wind them back, and Ben Rimini's going to step up here, one would expect, but that is all about what happens between numbers 1 and 5. That was an expression of will.
Somewhat. I'm sure 8, 7, and 6 have some say.
It was an expression of will. The only say they've got is thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That is an outstanding scrum there from Valley. They powered forward, and as you'd expect, that Safa man in the front row stood out front there and claimed all the glory for himself as there was an 8-man scrum. But great work by Kempi, great work by the Valley players, and an opportunity here for Ben Rimini to restore that 6-point lead.
Well, here he is, Ben Rimini, from not a mile away. His position is looking pretty tidy too out in front. There's no doubt about that. Rimini. 50 minutes gone in this grand final now for 2016-17, the rugbypass.com Hong Kong Premiership Grand Championship final, and it's Ben Rimini. His kick is on the way.
And
it's
over
over.
she goes.
9 points to 3 now. Valley lead the Loon in the Grand Championship final. Ben Rimini lays down the action, and what an effort that is. Valley under their posts, under pressure, under the pump, turn the ball over, power it down, secure the penalty, and end up taking 3 points against basically what would seem the run of play. Deflection there from the kick. All onside is the call. Jack Neville picks it up and takes it short side. Shows and goes Neville. Jack the lad, that's how dangerous he can be. Now they have it. Phillips, he looks to find someone to take it on. They go wide and thick. Cunningham's pass. Great play by the Loon. Burry for the line. Burry for the line. Burry try. A try to Kowloon. A try to the Loon.
What a great way to hit back immediately after giving away those 3 points. Tremendous play by Kowloon. Great fend on the outside, and over they go for the 5-pointer. It's all on Jedi.
Heavens above. 1 point in the game with the kick to come. 9-8 the score. And Thomas Burry, well, may not be the world's fastest winger, but he's hard to knock off his feet, and there's no doubt about it.
Well, I'm not going to say too much. He scored 3 tries against us. It could have been 4. I stopped counting after the rinsing we got. But the man's tenacious, that's for sure. And Kowloon right back in it over here. An opportunity for Jack Neville to put them in the lead for the first time in the game. Finals rugby, Jedi. Finals rugby.
Finals rugby indeed. Neville just wants to take his time about this. It's a very, very important kick. His first try of the match goes the way of the Loon. 40 years deep in their history. Started the season with a magnificent dinner in London. And the conversion wide of the mark. And then Valley take the slimmest of leads.
You have to ask yourself later on, Jed, how vital will those 3 kicks that have gone awry prove to be in this game?
Well, the call is pretty simple. You need 1 point to win.
You sure do, and let's see how it pans out. 28 minutes, 27 minutes still left. Jedi said by 1, Moses said by 8. Let's see what happens. Thunderous hit there by the Valley. They are fired up.
Well, you can expect them to want to be turning up the heat right now as the clearance kick comes out around halfway. And Valley, from the restart, probably with a net some loss of 40 centimetres. And Jans steps into the fray.
His line-out throwing has been quite spectacular all year, and he's right on the money again.
At the front by Lamberley, and red and black pack flood over the top of that. Reese Hammond organising his men. Jans picks it and he just trundles it forward as you'd expect.
That could have been lost.
Now they go, and it is lost. And a couple of errors creeping under this Valley pack, and they'll need to get their heads screwed back on.
Yeah, this is a big play right now. The last scrum that Valley had, that absolutely overpowered Kowloon for that 3-pointer. So it'll be important right now for Kowloon to secure their ball and give themselves a bit of hope, mentally at least, coming into these last 25 minutes of their set piece.
So, referee Bacon, seeing the funny side of life, as he can do.
Very difficult when you're a referee, in Hong Kong with the, shall we call it, chatter coming from the sideline.
Well, there's always someone saying something in Hong Kong, isn't there? Tanner DeWitt, the supporters of the referees all season long. Our thanks to Tanner DeWitt for their sponsorship of the Referee Society in Hong Kong. Great run by Jack Neville, with fends off the first defender and ball goes loose behind. The Valley organise themselves.
Oh, that's turned
again,
over.
and Woodward finds Hammond. Hammond forces the issue by throwing the ball into touch. And
I'd say no
they'll
advantage.
take the first infringement.
Yeah, it looked like Toma Lambole there was able to rip the ball free. Bit of a loose carry there from Kowloon, and it will be Valley's put into the scrum just about halfway. Scrum to Valley. This, you'd have to think that they will try and rumble it up forward as they did a few minutes ago and try and milk the penalty and extend their lead. Let's see what happens over here. Harmon feeds, and just as you expected, there they power. It's a good solid scrum, and there's the advantage. Great work from the Valley. It's unfortunate for Carl. Well, he's been training with the 7 side the whole year. His fitness level's right up there. He wouldn't be tired. That man's down. He's taken quite a thunderous knock over there.
Well, let's be honest. He's either broken something or he's hurt his hair.
You know, you could be right. We'll have to ask Jordan, his girlfriend, thereafter. She might have to go on there with a comb.
I think she'll be willing to speak to the media somehow. 58 minutes.
I think it'll be very difficult, Jedi, to get that man off the field, broken arm or not.
Hand over hard, Moses, as we come into this final quarter of the match. 12-8.
12-8, been a great final. I'm still saying Kowloon with the victory. Late on in this game.
Unwavered, as you expect most teams from South Africa to be. Once they've
I'd have to
committed
say,
themselves to the direction, it's very rare that you find them
I wish I could say it was commitment. I'm just
flexible
purely
enough to come away from that initial
I'm just purely sour from the last 4 finals in a row. I just want to see them lose. No, Jedi, that's not correct.
Tremendous honesty from Moses Bailey as we broadcast live and around the world.
No, I just have to say that the way the game's going, Kowloon right in this game. I'd have to say Valley are good for their 4-point lead at the moment. But I've just got that feeling, just like last week when Kowloon pulled it out of the bag. Who knows what could happen?
Nobody knows what will happen. Grand Championship Rugby Union from Hong Kong. These pitches live from Kings Park as we go out on rugbypass.com and the Hong Kong Rugby Union's YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us as the fans hit full voice on the far side.
That's
Look
strong
at the scrum from Valley as they nudge them away. Grant Kemp et al. Up front leading the scrum. They've drawn the penalty. Lamberley decides he's going to take it and run away. Tim Baker looks on and discusses whether he's going to let the advantage run, and he does.
Right
and
ball.
Woodward into base. Woodward into space. Woodward into space. Ultimately taken, but the ball is there, and Valley are a long way from their own line now. Hammond looks in. Remini picks up Lamberley, and Lamberley gallops into the fray one more time. Woodward sizing up Meacham. Meacham cuts back on the inside. Fluke is there to cover off. Hammond gets the ball. Now Kemp, beautiful hands. Remini. Kempy now.
Back for the advantage. Looked like it was a high hit there, Jedi. Lewis Warner was a great tackle. He just looked like he slid up, unfortunately, and we know how Rugby Union takes the tackle on top of the shoulders at the moment. And it looks like it'll just be a chat this time.
Well, who else to usher up? The number 10 red. And for the left footer, you would expect this to be a favoured kick.
Yeah, I know this is a vital kick as well. It puts them out to 7 points. A converted try would only get the tie if they're able to get that. So you'd have to think that this is key with only just over 18 minutes to play, Jedi.
How tempted would you be, though, to knock it in the corner and go for the drive?
Well, you say that. I would be quite tempted, but
It runs against every intuition as a key rugby player. You know? You want to keep that
No,
scoreboard ticking over, right?
You guys going for the corner, Kiwis going for the corner is fine. South Africans going for the posts. That's pretty standard for us. We were going for posts even if we were down. So let's see what Benny can do here.
Well, it's basically a truth and reconciliation session here on the microphone with Moses Bailey, ladies and gentlemen. You might want to share this link around as we hear the world as it really is. And Ben Rimini's kick is up
looks
and in the air
majestic.
and around the corner. And what a kick by Ben Rimini, one of the most underrated badminton players in Hong Kong.
And the 75 referees on our left over here all shout their condolences.
What a kick from Rimini. It never looked like missing.
Has any of his kicks looked like missing? They've been spot on.
The restart from Neville, and what a
Thunderous hit.
massive hit on Matt Rosley, who's no small man, but he got collected and rolled back pretty smartly there.
Great hit by
Now
Leslie
Hewson.
Tang.
Hewson rolls it up. Hammond, a bit of town and country play is what we're seeing. The old TikTok. Quite happy just to run the phases, looking for the key exit play. Hammond's left foot. It's good distance on it too as it comes down, and Neville distributes it wide. Burry gets on the right foot and tries to bury it down into the 22. Hammond calls for the short arm restart, and he gets it from referee Tim Baker. 15 points to 8. What a kick that was. They might be talking about that one after the game for some time. Beautifully picked up by our camera team.
It just shows how important your kicks are. You've got 15 points to 8 at the moment, and Kowloon's only scored the only try of the game. So outstanding play from Ben Ramini. He's 5 from 5 today. And like we said earlier, Kowloon's missed 3 kicks at post. How vital will they end up being, Jedi? 18 minutes, 17 minutes will tell us.
Hard to believe that this game so swiftly got up to that point in time. Testament to the action-packed rugby by both sides. It's been fabulous footy. They've really thrown everything into it, both of these teams. Any one of them could be a deserved winner of today. There will only be one winner though, however. Kowloon. Ball in hand, and again they start grafting away this Loon pack in their 40th year. Who would have thought that Kowloon a few years ago would be in this kind of position, but they are, and they deserve to be, and it's because they play rugby like this. And Lamberley appeals to the referee. There is a flag by the assistant referee. The flag is out, and Baker, Tim Baker, for Tanadua referee Baker, whistles time off. He sends Kowloon back, and there'll be a call for a head roll here.
You're going to have to think that this is going to go against Kowloon, and not only that, Jedi, there might be a bit of cheese coming, which is only going to make this
That would be
last
unfortunate.
15, 14 minutes an absolute...
That would be unfortunate. I really don't think there's any cause for a card,
No.
and neither does Tim
Absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. He's going to have a chat now with the official on the sideline. This could be a very, very pivotal point in the game.
Baker. Look, they've played this game in great spirit. It's been hard, it's been physical, it's been tough, but it's really been no real malicious intent in anything.
Absolutely agree, and it looks like it'll just be a penalty, thankfully. They've seen the light, and the penalty is, and a bit of mouth again.
Well, there's always going to be a bit of chat in a team dominated by the Brits, isn't there? They've always got something to say. And the reason why, well, we think about open all hours. Are you being served? It ain't half hot, mum. It's systemic, Moses. It's systemic.
Oh yes, Jedi. Great kick there by Ben Ramini once again. He takes him deep into the 22, and you'd have to think that any score now from Valley deep in this game is going to end up being quite vital to the cause.
Coming now inside the last quarter of an hour of this game. Tension builds as Valley find themselves at the right end of the park with the put in. Hewson takes a cheeky one at the front, possibly because he's not the greatest jumper in the world. They play it well though, and Hammond's there and the ball is there for Valley, and it's a pick and go, and they're just happy to take these half metres at a time. The referee blows it up, and the Kowloon defence generates a mistake just when they need it.
Yeah, Jedi, absolutely what you're saying there. They as it's shown, they've shown all game, they're not scared to pull the phases no matter where they are on the field. Completely back themselves to retain ball, which is, to be honest, has been key today. They've been, if you look at if we had the turnover stats up on the field, I think we'd be able to see that Kowloon have turned over way too much ball today.
18 into the action, the one, the only, the tow truck, Koloamatangi.
Koloamatangi, let's see how many times we can throw that name out in the last 13 minutes.
My former co-commentator Ray Asara watching down in Vietnam at the moment. He will be absolutely beside himself. I would expect he would have sent the wife from the room at this point. I mean, Koloamatangi and Ray Asara have a special relationship. That which cannot be talked about. It's kind of Greek, if you know what I mean.
Exactly what you mean. Rightio, we've got just over 15 minutes left, Jedi. 7 points up. Society General deep in Kowloon's half. Kowloon are going to have to do something quite special in this last 14
one
minutes
would
to...
This is a
all
powerful
over
front
the
row
ice.
now that the Valley have got. Already the angle being thrown in. And look
It's
at
got to
the
be a quick
heave.
hook. It's got to
Look
be a
at the
quick
heave come
hook.
in.
It's not.
Look at that was always going to happen.
He's got to use it.
That was always going to happen. And that's what happens
there it
when that
is.
happens.
We
The
call
red
it.
and black machine pressed the button up front, and all of a sudden, the game that looked close looks far away for the Kowloon supporters.
That's 4
As the
scrums.
men of the V8 put the hammer to the metal.
Jedi on the money. That's 4 scrums and 4 penalties in a row since the Safa man has come on, and that has been absolutely telling in today's game. Unfortunately, Kowloon find themselves on the losing end of those penalties and try, and Ramini just takes a 2-step slot. Over she goes. 14 points. Tough to overcome that in 12 minutes, Jedi.
20 points to 8, and just like that, This magnificent red and black outfit put 12 points on a team that has been running them down all season long. Don't get me wrong, there is still time for Kowloon to fight back. They are not wallflowers. They will come off and fight all the way. But by gee, by jingo, by crikey. A tight head, Lamberley off the back, Hammond over the line, Rimini with the conversion.
Those penalties aren't going to help, Jeddah.
Goodness gracious me.
Oh, and there's a yellow. Just as we said, we didn't want to see any cheese. It's that man.
Well, that's a massive blow as Phil Whitfield makes his way from the paddock. That's the skipper.
He has been an absolute inspiration for them this year, and unfortunately, he will only see a minute or so at the end of the game. This makes it tough. Tougher than tough.
Well, he's a competitor, there's no doubt about it. And potentially, he's let his emotions get away with him on that occasion, because Tim Baker has made no bones about it. I'm not having that here, and you can go and have a seat for that.
Absolutely slid up on the tackle there, trying to get himself involved. Overly keen, slid up on the hit, bit high. Tim Baker wasn't going to have anything to do with it, and off he goes. Turnover, look
Great
out.
work. Jack Neville. Jack Neville decides he's going to carry the issue on his own. Phillips now, they try and find a way through. It looks like Kinloch lobs one over the top. Kowloon perhaps getting ready to open up the spigots and play some hit and run rugby here. We could see something very loose conspire, and if that's the case, they'd want to watch out for this Valley outfit, because if anyone can run a broken field, the likes of Meacham, Hammond and company, Woodward, I mean, they're all there really, aren't they?
Absolutely, and you're sitting there going, it might loosen up now. We might be talking one shy loose. The ball could be going all over the place, Jedi.
Well, probably never a finer way of putting it than that. I think we could just let that one go. Moses Bailey putting the stamp of truth upon things here. There's a chip over the top from Bryn Phillips is plucked out of the air. I'm still reeling from that last call. No better about that, the one-try truth.
I reckon you got to go straight for touch right now, and if Kowloon want to have any chance of pulling this game out of the fire, got to score. Cheddar?
Must score. Must score.
Must score from this
It's
one.
all about tries from here on in. Kowloon can do it. They do have a line out that competes well. We've seen them drive tries over against some of the biggest packs in the tournament. There's no doubt about it. So it's not like they can't. They can, and if they get the opportunity, they will.
Let's see what they do. Been a great game so far. Only 9 minutes left. Valley full deserving lead over here, 22 points to 8. 2 converted tries away. It is a mountain for Kowloon. But like we said, it's not all over. Let's see what the Boykies can do here. Coming into the last 8.
Midfield set. Now they pick and go. Big play by Burry. He's looking for options as Phillips. Finds Zhang. Zhang to ground. Ball's at the back. 8 minutes left on the clock. With a body shot now, Kowloon. They're going to have to fight all the way to the line, there's no doubt about it. We've seen Valley keep their line intact time and time again. Phillips, they go wide, it's a try. It's a try to Kowloon.
14 men, they hit straight back, and that's exactly what we said. Great.
Angus Dixon gets it within a body shot of the line. And I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. When you absolutely positively need to score, don't send a winger, send a prop forward.
Oh, you've hit the money right there, Big Jedi, and that was great play by Kowloon. They kept the ball, they kept their composure, used the phases. That man, Jack Neville, started it again. How vital is this kick?
Well, this is probably the kind of kick that would really actually fire Jack Neville up. You can see it sailing clean between the posts to make it 22-15. Neville's approach, he gets onto it.
Looks like he's pushed it.
Fires it across the face. And it's not so bad when you're an adult entertainer, but when you're trying to kick for goal and win championships. That's not the way forward.
So it still requires 2 scores, 2 tries, or at least a converted try and a penalty for Kowloon to come up. You'd have to think they'd have to score again really quickly.
Well, and look what Valley do. Valley go to the bench. They pull off Karatai Williams and they send on number 20, Toby Fenn.
Yeah. So, for those that don't know, Toby Fenn, what a stall, what a play he's been for the Valley, what a play he's been for Hong Kong throughout the season. He's been outstanding. And
stand he made for the Tigers 2 years ago when he was out and out, the best loose forward in town. And then
he's been spectacular, and
played all over
unfortunately,
the likes of Matt Lamming, which is no one had really seen before, but he's one of those magnificent, roving, scavenging loose forwards.
I will bring to your attention
Much
right
like
now.
yourself, Moses.
Oh, well, thank you very much, sir.
The king of scavengers. You're like a seagull.
Did say thank you, and I don't know if I'm quite thankful this time. What I will say, as I was going back to, was that Mr. Toby Fenn was raised in the Republic.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
There's no lack of Southern Hemisphere about the way he operates.
Oh, yes.
He just seems to maintain a much cleaner accent than the pair of us. That's how he possibly gets the good jobs, I don't know.
It's all the more laughs, all the more boring for him, then I'd say.
Toby Fenn makes his way on. What a replacement for Valley when you can call on probably Hong Kong's only genuine scavenging loose forward.
You know, you'd have to say the form player, the form open side of the season, the last 2 seasons. We all know Matt Lamming's a tremendous player as well.
Some of the qualities of Matt Lamming have got to be, understood. Power over the ball. Once he gets over the ball, you cannot remove the guy.
Yeah,
but
this,
the out-and-out chase.
Oh, no, this man's, you're going to say this man's absolute geest, as we'd say in South Africa, his spirit. No, he just doesn't stop, does he? And like we said, this is scrum number 5. Will it be another penalty? You'd have to think it will, and you'd have to think this is the game.
Kowloon are doing well to keep it straight.
This is a penalty, this is the game.
Down. I don't think there'll be a
Mr.
penalty.
Baker does not want to give it. He's allowed it to go.
Fair enough too.
Good for the game, I'd say.
Kowloon have kept it together as much as they possibly could there under the face of extraordinary pressure. And now,
unbiased commentary here.
it's just a short interlude by HSBC. They're everywhere.
The sponsors think they can do whatever they want these days.
Here it is in the back of the ruck now for Valley. Less than 5 minutes out from the end of the match. Currently leading by 9 points. Come on. Here we go now. Through the goes Rosley. Rosley for the line. Looking for support. Can't find it. Rimini floats it out. Finds Kemp. Kemp shapes for the drop goal. Fires it over the top now. Great ball from Fluker.
Unbelievable.
Meacham stopped in his tracks. He's not the biggest man. It's not exactly Jonah Lomu, Brian Meacham. But now they're within shooting range. And again, Kemp looks to shape and throw the dummy. He's the man with all the skills.
At least pretends to have all the skills, but he's done really well.
Hammond for the line. He takes him on. Pick and go there from Fenn. Fenn denied, but he gets the ball back. Into the slot goes Muller. Muller for the line, covered off by Kemp. Dane Jans down on the ball. Now they pop it wide. Kolamatangi out in front
right
of the
on
sticks.
the ball.
Rimini might be shaping up for the 3. Penalty to Kowloon. They're off the hook.
Great play there by James Cunningham. Neville takes.
It's all caution to the wind right now. Kowloon know they've got to go coast to coast to bring it back and at least give themselves a chance. Into the breakdown they fly. Pick and go. Goes nowhere, in fact. Now they fly. Neville on the outside. He's grabbed by the ankle. They get on to Burry. Burry flies it out on the inside. Bryn Phillips taken down, and they're up to the 10-metre line. Off their feet of the breakdown is a call by Tim Baker. And Valley must retreat the 10 straight away.
You'd have to think that Kowloon's got to go immediately here.
They've got men down on the ground. They look absolutely spent, Kowloon. Still, they've got the hearts of champions, there's no doubt about it. Still they move. Penalty here, according to Tim Baker. Tap and go. Phillips looking for the runner. Kowloon now. Down to the Valley 10.
Stand-in captain there, Lewis Warner. Here goes Neville.
Gets on the outside of Jans. Eventually picked up by the secondary defence. Now they're dangerously close to the sideline and into touch they go.
Jedi, I'm going to have to concede to you there. I'm going to have to
it's
say...
over. And it's over. And they've done it. The double-double.
And
Red
one.
and black.
Double and one. Let's not short them. That's 5 in a row.
The drive for 5 is complete as the red and black machine, the men of the V8, the Valley Rugby Football Club. This group pinned their names in the history of the annuals of their club. A league title and a championship double for the second time running. Moses Bailey, your thoughts and comments?
Well, you got to have to give it to them. It doesn't matter what you say about any one of those players in that team. To win 5 finals in a row is absolutely unbelievable. That is a tremendous, tremendous outcome for Valley. It's shown their class, it's shown their depth. It's just shown what type of team they are, that they can turn up on the day, and when it really matters, they can fire up. And they haven't shown it once or twice, they've shown it numerous times. And all you can do is cower away in your corner or just dip your hat at them and say, outstanding work, Valley. 5 in a row. Heartbreaking for Kowloon. They put up a great fight, but at the end of the day, you've got to have to say, Valley, full value for money.
Full value for money. Great words from Moses Bailey as the cameras pull off to a Kowloon team in their 40th season who have done their fans extraordinarily proud. But at the final hurdle, they were bested by a team who really will stand the test of time as one of the very, very best in Hong Kong's Premiership history. There's been a team from Valley who, and with the likes of Coach Dino Hurawini, Roddy McIntosh, Issy Tuavai, Vaughan going, the likes of which they thought they may never see again. And on this occasion, they're looking at a group of players who stand tall amongst their contemporaries over the last 5 years.
Oh, once again, Jedi, what more can you say about this side? They have put 5 seasons in a row and not necessarily been the best team in every one of those seasons, but they've been the best team in the final in every one of those seasons. They've managed to pull out when it counts. And to win 5 in a row, I mean, that's just unheard of. It's an unbelievable achievement. There's the trophy. The guys are zooming in on it. Is there any space for other teams on there now after 5 in a row for Valley? Where do we go from here? A tremendous, like we said, tremendous display from Kowloon. They came at them hard. They scored the first try. But where do you go? Valley's depth, Valley's precision, Valley's just relaxedness under all that pressure. They just soaked it all up. And to be honest, they never looked like they were going to lose.
Well, interesting points you make, and yes, you did right. It's all about that bit of silverware. But I think even early in the contest, we saw, as you pointed out straight off the bat, Valley's confidence, reassuredness in themselves to take it in the 22, move it around, find the angle, and that said a lot. That probably echoed a lot about what we were about to see unfold. Valley looked very assured in their ability to play grand finals football.
Look, let's not take away from the whole spectacle. I think we can all agree that people that have been around Hong Kong for the last few seasons have seen this game in Hong Kong just grow exponentially. The finals have gotten better and better and better each year. And while every team has gotten better, Valley in the last 5 seasons have maintained an ability to keep that stranglehold over, as the teams get better, they want it more. They seem to go out there with a full confidence, and we know how it works, that every game you win, the more and more you win, the luckier you get, they say, isn't it?
You work hard, don't you? You work. It's the funny old adage about the game is that you work to create luck, and there's no doubt about it. I think we've seen the amount of work that goes in right across the board with the teams increase. There's no doubt about it. There's only 6 teams in the Premiership. Even the likes of the Tigers have proven that they can lift themselves up, and so long considered probably the least runners of the 6, and yet they have put on wins, they've put on fine performances. They drove Kowloon, the ultimate finalists for today, within an inch of their lives last weekend. So, as you say, I think it all actually works out to the point you make, Moses, that the Premiership competition in Hong Kong continues to build at a steady rate.
That's exactly it. I mean, you can love them, you can hate them, but you've got to respect them, and I don't care what anyone else says. To win 5 finals in a row, it's not a mean feat. That's unbelievable. You've come up against teams when you've been the underdogs, and I know from a few seasons ago where Valley lost every game against us in the preseason, were able to manage to dominate that final. They stand up when it counts, and that just goes to a whole lot of things. That's club spirit. That goes to the team players you have there. It goes to a belief system that you have with your team. And, all of that is just ending up driving Hong Kong rugby into a better place, a place that we want to go. I mean, everyone can see now with Hong Kong going fully professional with rugby that this place is not far off from going Japan's way, with the fully professional teams owned by businesses and stuff like that. And to be honest, later on in life, I could actually see 10 so years' time, this is a more lucrative market to be in than Japan. So who knows where Hong Kong rugby will be in 5 to 10 years.
We've had a fantastic day at Grand Finals Day here in Hong Kong, and the pitches will continue until Valley are crowned Grand Championship winners. Started off with a tremendous win in the first game by the club over Discovery Bay Pirates. And then it just kept on coming. The next match, an absolute humdinger. A 1-pointer in the National League 1 final between the Valley Knights and the club Dragons, in which club got away with a 1-point win. And then into a fascinating battle between the Gaiwu Falcons and the Valley Black Ladies. And again, not taking anything away from this men's final, but it was fascinating to watch, a club like Gaiwu, no home ground, no club rooms, all local players, and yet tremendous development for the local game.
Now you talk about that, and you said it earlier with Doug Fluker playing fullback for Valley, for the winning side Valley today, and he had a tremendous game. And he was a Gaiwu man through and through for the last few seasons, and he talks so highly of Gaiwu and what it means for those guys coming through. And we talk about building grassroots rugby and building rugby in Hong Kong, and you look at the minis rugby here, and it's almost not matched anywhere else in the world. There's a huge following for the junior levels, and if we can just bring that through, the absolute, there's just so much Hong Kong has to offer. Great to see those teams coming through. Great to see them competing for championships. And it's only, I guess, it's only a matter of time till they can actually take that extra step and be able to turn over the powerhouse that has become Valley.
Well, we wait and see for great moments like that still to unfold in the history of Valley Rugby. But as you can see, it's time to prep the bottles.
Oh, yes, it is.
We get
Look
ready
at the big fella.
to crown the rugbypass.com Hong Kong Premiership Grand Championship winners. And the player of the
Wow,
day,
how's that for a call?
Grant Kemp. Well, look, it makes a lot of sense, really.
Makes a lot of sense, but you tell me the last time, Jeddah, that you've seen a man come on off the bench and be named man of the match, especially in a final, and I'll down, I'm not going to say, but look, I'll have 2 shots of cane with you. How's that for a stat? But that just shows that his impact on the field, those 4 or 5 penalties in their own hard turned the whole game around.
Well, Grant Kemp, who would have thought? Tom Broughton unavailable today, and Kempy makes, look at the smile on the face of this man. Look at him, he's happy as a little pig.
That oak is going to have a few tasty
Look at
teas and coke
Unfortunately,
tonight.
that bottle of champagne will not last very long. No, boom, he's ready to go. And of course, they will talk about the fact that the mystery virus that swept through the Valley squad earlier this week has left everyone feeling a little bit depleted.
Yeah, well, it reminds me of the mystery virus that swept through the All Blacks in '95, but thank goodness Susie and her mates were
No
swept under
mystery
the door.
about that, Moses. There's no mystery about that at all. As the chairman of the board of directors, Mr. Peter Duncan, gets ready to present to the Valley skip, Matt Rosley, the Grand Championship trophy there for the Valley team, as they get ready to lift aloft the silverware that means one thing and one thing only: utter and total dominance. And Hong Kong Rugby Union belongs to the men from the V8.
No,
it's the Valley Rugby Football Club.
Absolutely.
For the 5th year in a row, and the first time to double-double in Hong Kong Premiership history. Valley take out the men's Premiership Grand Championship for 2016-17. And these are the pictures live from Hong Kong.
Oh, Jedi, you've hit the nail right in the head. And like we said earlier, you don't have to love them. You can hate them or you can love them. They deserve all the respect. You can't win 5 finals in a row without a solid coaching, players and entire unit within the club. That is an absolutely unbelievable feat. That is spectacular. So it doesn't matter what anyone says, 5 finals in a row. They deserve all the triumph they'll get. They deserve having a great time. That is absolutely unbelievable.
Moses Bailey, ladies and gentlemen, and we will end the broadcast commentary on those final remarks. Congratulations to all the teams that made their way through to the Grand Championship finals this year. It's been an extraordinary day. It's been a fantastic season to watch domestic rugby union in Hong Kong, and now we prepare for what will be, well, one of the great months in Asian rugby as we start with the Hong Kong Sevens in the first week of April. We move swiftly to the Singapore Sevens in the second week of April, and then the Asian Rugby Championship, where Hong Kong, Korea and Japan will square off to find out who's who in the zoo in the hottest place in the world. These are the pictures live from Kings Park in Kowloon, Hong Kong. And you can see it for everybody in the world can see it basically. Valley, Grand Champions for 2016-17. Our thanks to rugbypass.com for their sponsorship of the Hong Kong Premiership for 2016-17. Congratulations to all involved in all teams for making the Premiership run this year worth watching. And as we sign off from Kowloon, we wish you a good evening, and we can't wait for you to join us again in the games coming up. From Kings Park, on behalf of Makai commentator Moses Bailey and our production crew, this is Jed Thyon signing off. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.